Live with you tonight here from our SABC News studios in Auckland Park in Johannesburg. This is Prime News on S3. Let's have a look at the stories making headlines tonight. Tributes continue to pour in for eThekwini ANC councillor Cape who was gunned down by an unknown assailant in Klaarwater, west of Durban, earlier today.
The manual was signed by myself and her.
The Madlanga Commission has heard that Advocate Andrea Johnson's claim that the IDAC operations manual was just a draft was misleading, as evidence shows that it was approved, signed and distributed to staff. And the Madlanga Commission's second interim report has recommended further action against top cop Shadrack Sibiya, his alleged middleman Fani Nkosi, alleged political fixer Brown Mohotsi, and his alleged so-called handler Witness G. Good evening and a warm welcome to Prime News. We are here with you tonight on S3 for the next half an hour to update you on the day's main news events and also have a look at tomorrow's weather forecast. I'm Gustav Freiling, and with me our sign language interpreter Fortune Madlala. eThekwini Mayor Cyril Xaba has described the killing of ANC ward councillor Cape as a devastating loss to both the African National Congress and the community he served. Kwela was shot and killed in Klaarwater near Marion Hill, west of Durban, in what police say was a targeted attack. Now, Xaba has urged the public to avoid speculation regarding an ongoing murder investigation and stated that the party will wait for the official outcome from law enforcement authorities.
Kwela was a dedicated cadre of this movement who served his people with distinction. This is indeed a loss not only to the African National Congress but to the community he served. We were told that the police have taken over the scene, which suggests the commencement of investigation on the part of the police. We will not at the moment start to speculate about the circumstances that may have actually led to this gruesome murder. We will await the investigation and then we'll take it up from there.
The Madlanga Commission has heard that former IDAC head Advocate Andrea Johnson's claim that the IDAC operations manual was just a draft was misleading, as evidence shows that it was approved, signed and distributed to IDAC staff. The document, which guides standard operating procedures for the unit, is significant because evidence suggests that IDAC's handling of crime intelligence matters allegedly was unlawful and did not follow procedure.
As the Madlanga Commission continues to advance on allegations surrounding IDAC's handling of crime intelligence matters, new questions continue to mount for former IDAC head, Advocate Andrea Johnson. This is the latest witness to take the stand has given evidence that challenges Johnson's assertion that the IDAC manual, which standardizes its operations, was merely a draft.
To the extent that Advocate Johnson testified that the manual was just a draft, she would have been misleading this commission. Well, at its lightest, she would have lied to this commission.
Yeah, I don't understand why she said that. The manual was signed by myself and her, and then at her instruction, it was distributed to all IDAC staff.
The Commission has heard evidence that IDAC's probe into crime intelligence matters was allegedly geared towards targeting high-ranking generals, that is Crime Intelligence Boss, Lieutenant General Dumsani Khumalo, and Top Cop General Fani Masemola, at all costs.
Because you did not do anything, it looks like You were part of the problem. You were part of the reason why the manual was not followed to the letter.
Chair, I will take responsibility for that.
The hearings continue on Tuesday, the 11th of August at 9:30 a.m.
Let's adjourn until then.
Kani Mapanga, SABC News, Pretoria.
Now, meanwhile, the Madlanga Commission's second interim report has recommended further action against top cop Lieutenant General Shadrack Sibiya, his alleged middleman, Sergeant Fani Nkosi, alleged political fixer, Brown Mokhotsi, and his alleged so-called handler, Witness G.
In a sense that
The wheels of accountability emanating from the work of the Madlanga Commission remain in motion. This time, it has its eyes set on 4 individuals, which include suspended Deputy National Commissioner, Lieutenant General Shadrack Sibiya. This as the presidency has revealed that Sibiya forms part of a group of 4 names that have been referred for further action, which could include instituting criminal proceedings if sufficient evidence exists.
The report revisits the recommendation and referrals made in the first interim report in respect of the South African Police Service based on prima facie evidence, and with one exception, confirms these recommendations now that the relevant implicated parties have appeared before the Commission to give evidence. The report also sets out new recommendations and referrals made by the Commission on the basis of evidence heard since the start of 2026.
These fresh referrals are significant in the sense that we are seeing the recommendations go beyond the perceived quote-unquote low-hanging fruit, and they now take aim at some who could be branded as among the heavyweights in the country's top policing brass. All eyes are now on the SABC Commission's recommendation task team to see their next move as the accountability process continues. Kani Mapanga, SABC News, Pretoria.
Lawyers representing suspended EMPD Deputy Police Chief Julius Mkhwanazi have argued that their client should not be facing a Schedule 6 offence of murder. They argued that according to the state's own version on the charge sheet, Mkhwanazi should be charged with being an accessory after the fact because he arrived on the scene after Emmanuel Mbense was assaulted and killed in 2022.
So even before the bail applications could commence, suspended EMPD Deputy Police Chief Julius Mkhwanazi's lawyers argued that based on the charge sheet, the state alleges that when 13 individuals comprising of EMPD, SAPS and private security members tortured and killed Emmanuel Mbense, they decided to involve Julius Mkhwanazi, and when he arrived on the scene, Mkhwanazi hatched the plan to dispose of Mbense's body into the Spaarwater Dam, which is 23 kilometers away from the scene.
It is quite clear on the version of the state that accused number 5 on their version, on the charge sheet, can at best be an accessory after the fact, after the murder. That is not a Schedule 6. The state, with the greatest respect, are playing games. They're not open and giving you a proper charge sheet. I guess I don't want to go even through the charge sheet. It's vague and it's embarrassing.
My learned colleague Mr. Nel correctly referred to it as an application by ambush because we don't know what we need to meet.
The state cannot be forced by the defense to put the evidence before even they commence with what they are burdened with in terms of the law.
With the lawyer for accused number 3, Adrian Mackenzie, and accused number 4, Kershaw Lee Stolz, arguing that no grounds were furnished for the state opposing bail and that she was not ready to proceed with the bail application. Well, the matter has been postponed to August the 13th. Crisalda Lewis, SABC News, at the Brakpan Magistrates Court.
When we return, the Makanda High Court has upheld a prior ruling that declared the establishment of an ANC provincial task team structure in the Eastern Cape invalid. More on this story after the break. Welcome back. The Makanda High Court has upheld a prior ruling that declared the establishment of an ANC provincial task team structure in the Eastern Cape invalid. The temporary body was announced in May by Party Secretary General Fikile Mbalula. It was meant to oversee the ANC's affairs in the province following the expiry of the Provincial Executive Committee's term.
The High Court in Makhanda ruled that there is no justifiable reason to grant leave to appeal the judgment which nullified the provincial task team, as prospects of success are minimal. Party members who challenged the legitimacy of the PTT, which was announced by Party Secretary General Fikile Mbalula, say they feel vindicated by the recent court outcome. They have called for the party to follow the correct processes in electing party structures.
What we are waiting for is guidance from the National Executive Committee in terms of reinstalling the old PC to continue to give guidance to the work of the organization, so long as they prepare for conference, the much-awaited conference of the Eastern Cape.
Khoja adds that they will continue approaching the courts of law, as there are many matters that are not being followed in accordance with the party's constitution. In March, the party in the province failed to hold its provincial elective conference after it was successfully interdicted by disgruntled members in the High Court at Kugombo City. The ANC says it is studying the judgment and will only comment in due course. Abungile Yankees, SABC News, Kugombo City.
The DA has urged South Africans to register to vote before the voters' roll closes at midnight on Friday. The call comes a day before the proclamation of the date for the 2026 local government elections tomorrow, thereby kicking off the election timetable.
I would hate it if voters woke up on the 4th of November only to discover that they had missed the votes. So voter registration is urgent and it is the last chance, and I'd like to take this moment to call on all South Africans who want to get their towns and cities working to make sure that you're correctly registered to vote by midnight tomorrow. We know that political parties tend to break their promises, and if you look at the coalition chaos that has unfolded, they tend to break them repeatedly, but the DA keeps ours. And so this event is not just a launch, it's a publication of a promise to all South Africans. Many political parties make and will make outlandish offers that they cannot deliver on. The DA is making an offer based on our experience in government, now in all three spheres of government, based on research and data, and based on aspirations for a better future for all South Africans.
In Gauteng have struggled with school placements in previous years. Long queues and delays caused frustration. Gauteng MEC for Education, Lebogang Maile, says the system is now ready to handle the demand.
Some learners started the year on a difficult note, as they had to endure long queues while searching for school placements. At the time, other learners were already attending classes, while others were still waiting for spaces. Frustrated parents called for changes to the system, saying the process had left many families uncertain about where their children would go to school.
We are calling on parents to register on time, because if we don't know by October, November how many kids are registered, we will never know whether we need more schools or not.
The MEC says the challenges experienced by parents are not because of problems with the system, but because of the high demand for places at specific schools.
There is no problem with the system. The problem is that every year in Gauteng there's at least 50,000 learners coming to Gauteng.
The department says more than 300,000 applications for grade 1 and grade 8 have already been received since the system opened. Parents have been urged to apply early to avoid delays and increase their chances of securing placements. Calvin Lula, SABC News, Johannesburg.
After the break, Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney has declared a lack of confidence in FIFA President Gianni Infantino following a controversial and now abandoned proposal to sell off World Cup commercial rights. Welcome back. The urgent challenge of bridging the gap between infrastructure ambition and project delivery took centre stage at the Infra for Africa Forum and Africa 50 General Shareholders Meeting in Dar es Salaam. Leaders gathered in Tanzania to focus on transforming grand plans into tangible, bankable projects designed to power economies and unlock vital investment across the continent.
The dancers set the rhythm. Now investors and governments need to find the right moves to get Africa's infrastructure moving. The message from Dar es Salaam is clear: coordination, capital, and action.
I think across the world, infrastructure, as you know, is kind of the bedrock of economic development. Without power, without energy, without roads, without digital infrastructure, a country cannot grow and prosper.
Capital is the fuel. Infrastructure is the engine, and Africa needs both.
The policies are there. The AfCFTA has been adopted and ratified by 50 countries, which is the first step to liberalizing the market. What is required next as a step and an action point is injection of capital in infrastructure.
We are really excited about the SADC region. I mean, the SADC region is very mineral rich. They've done quite a bit of development in terms of the corridors. It's a great corridor.
From energy and transport to digital economies, Africa's infrastructure story is no longer about ambition alone. It's about making the right moves and turning plans into projects and projects into growth. Brian Herman, SABC News, Dar es Salaam, Tanzania.
Now, before we go, time to have a look at tomorrow's forecast. Kumza is standing by at the weather desk with all the details.
Good evening and welcome to the weather desk. A cold front slips south of the country, leaving behind showers and rain in places along the Western Cape, Eastern Cape, as well as KwaZulu-Natal. Tomorrow we see that cold front completely exiting, but it does still leave behind showers and rain along the coastal areas of the KwaZulu-Natal and Eastern Cape into the adjacent interior. Morning fog patches can also be expected along the escarpment areas, as well as the interior of the Western Cape, Eastern Cape, as well as the southern high ground of the Northern Cape. The Gauteng province remains cool for tomorrow afternoon, with Johannesburg at a maximum of 22, slightly warmer in Bronkhorstspruit at a maximum of 24. Cooler temperatures once again over the interior of the Limpopo province, Bulkwane and Tzaneen at 23, but warmer temperatures in the Western Bushveld between Lephalale and Thabazimbi at a maximum of 27. Morning fog patches along the escarpment of Mpumalanga, a cool day in Mashishinga 22, Ermelo at a maximum of 20. Warmer temperatures in the Lowveld regions with Kukuza at a maximum of 26. Clear skies in KwaZulu-Natal over the northeastern areas with showers and rain along the south coast with Port Shepstone at a maximum of 21. It is still remaining cool in places over the Eastern Cape with Malitswai at a maximum of 22. A cold day in Eqonce and Willowmore at a maximum of 17. Partly cloudy conditions across most parts of the Western Cape. A warm day in the West Coast District with Clanwilliam at 25. Very cold temperatures there along the southwest coast between Cape Town, Hermanus and Cape Agulhas, all at a maximum of 17. Still some cool temperatures across most parts of the Northern Cape, but a warm day in Kimberley at 27, Kuruman reaching a maximum of 25. Clear skies across the Free State province with slightly warmer temperatures tomorrow with Welkom at 26, Bothaville at a maximum of 25. It is cool in the south with Gariep Dam at a maximum of 20. And then lastly, the Northwest province also expecting fairly warm temperatures across the province, Rustenburg at 27, but it is cool over the interior with Lichtenburg and Ottosdal both at 24. I'll leave you there with the weather. Good night.
That's it, the end of tonight's Prime News on S3. We have another appointment with you tomorrow evening at 8. From myself, my colleague Fortune, and the rest of the team, have a wonderful evening.